Hello, and welcome to We Live for Saturday, your favorite college football podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, and with me, as always, is your other co-host, John. John, how are you doing this fine fall day?
Oh, it's great. Loving it. Fall is here again. Loving this feeling, loving the cool, crisp weather, taking the dog out for a walk in the morning. The leaves have finally changed. It's all here, man. So this is real, true football weather season. It just keeps getting better, in my opinion. So I love it, dude. This is when I thrive. So I got no major complaints. Although I will say, unfortunately, I got to be heading out of town here in like 8 days. So it always.
So you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I got a lot to take care of here in the next week. But that's okay. It is what it is. It's just, I'd rather be, hanging out at home and enjoying the fall and sitting around the fire and doing all that kind of stuff than having to, get ready to pack up and hit the road. But that is what it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
Pays the bills. Got to do what you got to do, But yeah, man.
Got to keep the lights on.
That's right. Somebody's got to do it. No.
I'm good, man. It was an auspicious weekend. Obviously, it got off to a bang with the Nebraska-Minnesota game on Friday, and then it just kind of kept going through Saturday.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of interesting games. Some games that weren't so interesting.
Yeah.
But we had some good ones. It was a wild week 8. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, it's good. It's exciting. You're really seeing where some of these teams are coming into form now, mid-season now, which is crazy. We're already here.
The thing is that I always get on people about is they're always like, people want to act like a team is a finished product in week 2 or 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, these teams will continue to get better or worse throughout the season.
Yeah.
And the better coached teams will continue to get better as the season goes along. And I think we saw that a little bit this weekend.
Yes, we did. Yeah. With a few teams for sure.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. I don't think there's any other Big Ten news though. Obviously we talked about there's definitely some firings going on in Florida, and then retracting, I guess. Billy Napier was fired, but now he's finishing out the season, so he's not fired. But
wait, really?
I think that just happened. Yeah.
I missed that. So he's fired, but they're like, just kidding. You can keep coaching for a few games.
Essentially.
That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. So, and I know, and again, Wisconsin Badger fans are just sitting out there just jealous watching everybody else fire their coach except for them. So
yeah, it doesn't sound like Wisconsin's getting rid of their coach.
No, not yet. No. So,
but not even this year, maybe.
Possibly not.
Yeah. So that's wild too.
Unless they can scrounge up some money from somewhere, or there's a booster out there who's like willing to just pay out that buyout. Then.
I also just wonder though, like, don't they want a new AD before they get a new coach?
I mean, I would if it were me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's not the issue. Part of the issue anyway with getting rid of Fickle is they feel like they need to get rid of McIntosh and get somebody else in place before they, take on, because it is a big deal to fire a football coach.
Absolutely.
That's a big, big change. And that's something that, you can only do if you're, really ready to do it and have a plan in place moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, and again, maybe they're not, because like we talked about the coaching carousel for these job openings at, higher profile programs are opening. I mean, you have Penn State, you got Florida State, probably, like all this kind of stuff. So it's just
LSU's probably coming open at some point too.
Could be. So like, yeah, it's just the competition.
Michigan State.
Yeah, competition for a good head coach, man, is going to be tough, real tough. So
yeah,
but we'll see. But other than that, man, yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on right now. I think just a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week as far as football goes.
Yeah, should we talk about football?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. First up, the first game of the weekend, a game we both attended in person.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Minnesota Golden Gophers 24, the Nebraska Cornhuskers 6. And you know what? It wasn't even that close.
No.
This game was 7-6 at half, so it was close then. But even then, Minnesota had squandered a couple scoring opportunities. And then the Gophers came out in the second half and outscored Nebraska 17-0 in the second half. Nebraska did not score a touchdown in this game. John, I believe when we were previewing this game, I said first 1 to 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
It was 7-6 at half, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm right. And then it really was first 1 to 10 wins because Nebraska never made it to 10.
No. It's true. Yeah. I mean, it definitely looked like it was going to be a little like a kind of be like a back and forth game, a defensive battle, I should say, that first half. But then, Nebraska got exploited and in so many ways, honestly. And Minnesota really finally just played to their potential, like everything we've been talking about for weeks of what we knew this team was capable of doing. They finally did it, and they had a complete game. And lo and behold, look what happens when you actually play to your potential and you can put this all together on the offense and defensive line. And even with some key players out, they really came together. So,
I mean, Minnesota was down its top 2 corners.
Yeah.
In John Nestor and Mike Gerald.
Yeah.
And to play that well on the outside without those 2 guys, I thought was heroic.
Yeah, against a team that had been throwing the ball very well all season.
Throwing the ball all over the yard against everybody.
Yep.
Nebraska's been doing. Even in their losses, they've thrown the ball around.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's break it down. It was 18 first downs to Minnesota to 13 for Nebraska. 339 yards for the Gophers to just 213 for the Cornhuskers. Minnesota, and the big difference was that Minnesota had 186 rushing yards at over 5 yards per carry, and Nebraska managed just 36 rushing yards on 29 attempts for 1.2 yards per rush. Woof.
Yeah.
That's rough. And then we got to talk. I mean, Darius Taylor, man, we got to start talking about him. 24 carries, 148 yards, over 6 yards per carry, a touchdown. And then he should have had 2 touchdowns, I thought, because he had that 71-yard run where he got pushed out at like the half-yard line.
Yeah.
So, and I looked, and honestly, he was barely out. So it looked to me, I think that should have stood as a touchdown.
I agree. But, we punched it in anyways. But
Punched it in anyways. But the point is, Darius basically had 2 touchdowns, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
But 148 yards receiving, and then he had another, 16 yards, 148 yards rushing, and another 16 yards receiving. He was just spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
And when he broke out, when he shook off a shoulder tackle and broke that 71-yard run, I thought to myself, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
I thought there's a really good shot. We're going to win this game. I didn't think we were going to come out and dominate in the second half the way we did.
No, I didn't either. But we talked about that, about how whoever establishes the run in this game is going to be the one who comes up victorious. And
yes,
that's exactly what happened.
And we were afraid that it was going to be Nebraska that established the run.
Yep. Well, it seemed like it, again, all season, they were able to throw the ball. They've been able to run the ball all over everybody. Raiola had been looking good. Emmett Johnson had been looking good. But I guess for whatever reason, I shouldn't say whatever reason. It's just the fact that Minnesota came out and gelled on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Really kind of put this one home for Minnesota and was able to shut both of them down.
I mean, that's where Minnesota, we got to give credit to Danny Collins, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, because Minnesota came out and not only did they put pressure on Dylan Raiola, they sacked that man 9 times, 9 sacks. That's a lot of sacks.
That's the most sacks the Gophers have had since 1977.
Wow.
In one single game.
It's a lot of sacks in one game.
Yeah, more sacks.
I think he got sacked on 18% of dropbacks.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that was crazy. And you know what? When Dylan Raiola didn't get sacked, he was running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that Nebraska offensive line got absolutely dominated by Anthony Smith and Carter Menz. and
Devin Eastern
Devin
looks
Eastern
good. Yep.
looked really good. And let's see, Anthony Smith, Carter Menz. Who else?
Jackson
Howard.
Yeah.
Jackson Howard had a couple sacks.
Yep.
Anthony Smith was joking around after the game about how everybody got a sack.
You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah. He did the Oprah thing.
Yeah.
And that was kind of funny. And yeah, dude, those sacks really set the tone. The fact that Nebraska couldn't run the ball and that Dylan Raiola was under duress nonstop, was the story of the game, I thought.
Yeah.
And then, Minnesota reinvigorating the running game and getting their offensive line going was awesome. But then on top of it, let's not forget that Drake Lindsay ended the game 16 for 20, 153 yards, a solid 7.7 yards per attempt, 1 TD, no picks for a QBR of 93.8. 93.8. That's spectacular.
Yeah.
And you know what? My voice still isn't back. I'm finally realizing, because I haven't talked that much this weekend, so I thought my voice has come back more. But now that I'm trying to talk, my voice is still pretty gone from screaming at the game.
Yeah, man. Look, it was a battle. Out of these two quarterbacks, Drake Lindsay is clearly the better quarterback, and I know Husker fans can jump all over that. And even the national media has bumped you up for the last 2-3 freaking years about how Dylan Raiola is this prolific, or going to be this prolific quarterback. And I'm sorry, like I have never really seen it. I've seen good games. I've seen some decent play here and there, but I've never seen this, superstar where everyone continues to be touting, coming out of Lincoln, and it just hasn't happened. And honestly, man, I don't think it ever will. I'm not sold on Dylan Raiola. I'm not, and I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to be a jerk here. Like, obviously, there's bad blood between Minnesota and Nebraska. I've just never bought into it fully. I've seen the potential in some games. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but then it's always he always comes back to earth. And whether it's us or against somebody else, a team that supposedly he should just absolutely dominate, because that's what happens every time, especially whenever they play Minnesota. They're supposed to dominate us, but hey, that has not happened at all under PJ Fleck.
No, Minnesota has won the last 6 against Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's 6 in a row over a 7-year span.
Yeah. PJ 7-1 against Nebraska. So but aside from that, though, like, just focusing on Dylan Raiola, though, is honestly, man, he can't, and yes, I understand he's under duress, but like anything past like 8 yards, he's inaccurate.
Yeah, he's really accurate on those short passes.
Yes, but deep balls, man, I don't see it. He had one throw this last game, which unfortunately for him, his receiver dropped. He wide open, could have had a huge play, and the receiver dropped the freaking ball. So that was, that's a bummer. And that's not on Dylan Raiola. That was a perfectly thrown ball. But that was it. Otherwise, like, anytime he throws downfield, and it's not just in this game. It's most.
Oh, it's not. It's not close. It's not like when he's missing. It's not like he's missing by a little.
No,
on these downfield throws, he's missing by a lot.
Yeah, like 3 to 5 yards off of these guys. Like it's not good. It's bad, and
it's not 5-star quarterback level.
No, and I know we rip on Ethan Kaliak-Manis in a lot of ways, but like Ethan, and I know Ethan's had 5 years, but like Ethan is more accurate. Like, he makes dumb mistakes and he forces the ball where he shouldn't, but like his accuracy is far better and
way more accurate than Dylan Raiola downfield. Not even close.
Absolutely. And Raiola, he's not mobile. He's just, I don't know, man. I don't see it. He looked lost. He was taking sacks. He was like walking into sacks. I mean, it was ugly, dude, in so many ways. And I'm 100% out on the Dylan Raiola hype. I know other people still want to push it, and that's fine. And I get it, and these are people and I'm not even talking about Husker fans. I'm talking other people just, outside of the fan.
Like the media.
Yeah. I'm like, you're just never going to convince me. Like, I don't think he's it. I think he's an okay college quarterback, and that's about it.
Okay, well, so then let me ask you a question. At the end of the year, does Nebraska move on from both Raiolas?
I've heard people want to. Because
the offensive line coach is getting fired, I think.
Well, and that's the thing. And I've seen Husker fans talk about that, about like, even if that means they lose Dylan, like, it's worth it. And you know what? It might be.
It might be.
If it were me, I'd be like, okay. I mean, it's so funny too, like how Slater Kinnick, this Iowa fan who always trolls Husker fans, and there's one particular Husker fan, Big Red Corner, I think is his name is, and 2 months ago was talking about Dylan Raiola being the truth and like better than expected, whatever, something like that along those lines.
Yeah.
And then like just this last week, like not even like, oh, like posting a picture of the next quarterback for Nebraska, being like, this is the guy. Watch out next year.
This time we got him.
Yeah, it's like that's just so typical. Like, oh man, like that's it. National title, here we come. Okay, next year, national title, here we come with this guy.
Coming off a 3-score loss in which you got your butt kicked all over the field by the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
It's just so typical, and especially against us, man. Like, it's so funny too, the elitist attitude, even after we beat them. And watching somebody else comment too about how I think someone literally said, a Husker fan literally posted something about how every time Minnesota scored a touchdown, we were holding, and that's basically why we scored a touchdown. And
must be.
Yeah.
I mean, those refs weren't calling holding, but they weren't calling holding both ways.
I don't know.
It
man.
wasn't. No, but let's talk about the Nebraska podcaster thing, because I consumed a bunch of Nebraska podcasts this weekend. In fact, for a while on Saturday, I was watching games, but I had Nebraska podcasts in my ears for the audio because I was just enjoying it. Yeah. And some of them gave us credit. I will give credit where credit's due. The guy from Big Red Reaction and Hail Varsity, the not the young guy with the mustache, but the older guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He was basically like, yeah, they kicked our butts all over the field. Like there's no other way to put it. And we need to stop. He was basically like, we need to stop saying we're better than Minnesota. Because we're not.
It's true.
But the other guys were not having it. And the other Husker podcasters did not have that attitude. And all of them were like, oh man, Adam Carricker, who is like, he's like a cartoon character. He's a former Husker player who does like Husker analysis now for a living. And he's just, it's funny. Anyway, he went on there and he's like, well, Nebraska was clearly the more talented team. And I was like, you got dominated in every phase of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. You got whipped. You got pushed around. Minnesota was reestablishing the line of scrimmage 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage on offense and like 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on defense. I mean, and it wasn't just that. Our skill players, Darius Taylor's better than anybody you have.
Yep.
And they keep saying, and what Nebraska fans mean and podcasters mean when they say they're more talented is that they had slightly higher recruiting rankings. But here's the thing I'll say about that. We talk about recruiting taking place in tiers, and Minnesota and Nebraska, you don't want to admit it, are in the same tier of recruiting.
Yeah.
Because Nebraska is getting these fringe top 25 classes, and Minnesota was 30th last year. So it's not that far apart. And I go by 24/7 rankings. I don't do the composite. The composite is wrong because Rivals is bad and ESPN's bad and On3 is mediocre.
Yeah.
I use the 24/7 rankings because those are the best. So, and that's been borne out over time by them being the most accurate service. So those are the rankings I use. And so that's close there. But more importantly, you know what the real rankings are? The real rankings are the NFL draft and the Big Ten all-conference teams. Those are the real rankings. And during the PJ Fleck era, Minnesota has had more players drafted in the NFL than Nebraska, and they've had more players on all-conference teams. In fact, I went back to 2015 and counted for both squads, and Minnesota has 26 guys drafted to 20 for Nebraska. And that's giving them a year when they had 4 guys drafted in 2015. That's giving them that year. You take out that year, we're even further ahead of them. So in the PJ Fleck era, Minnesota has been more talented than Nebraska. I know it kills you to hear that, but you don't have a Darius Taylor on offense. You don't have a Coy Parrish on defense.
Mm-mm.
You don't have an Anthony Smith on defense. You don't have those high-end guys that we have. You don't.
No. I mean,
I'm not trying to be a jerk here, Nebraska fans.
yeah.
I'm just saying that right now, in this moment, you are not a more talented team than Minnesota. You're not.
Well, and this is the thing, is like it's just it always amazes me, the people that are trying to be a jerks, that the Husker fans that literally cannot accept any part of reality. And this is why they have the rep they have, not just amongst Gopher fans, but literally the entire Big Ten, is like people like that CBS affiliate whatever reporter who like went off and like got trolled.
Oh, and said and he had to delete his tweets because
he deleted his
he was
tweet,
so
but
offensive.
Yeah, and like about how like Minnesota, they shouldn't lose to this terrible program. Minnesota's poverty, blah 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 blah, like all this kind of stuff. And it's just totally out of touch with reality. And that's the thing that always is so amazing. Not every Husker fan, by the way. Let's just state that there are not.
No. Most Husker fans are great. We love you,
but
we love Husker fans for the most part.
But there's just unfortunately too many out there that live in this fantasy world, and they cannot ever admit that they are where they are. And that's
I blame the Husker media, though.
It is.
I don't think like the Husker media is telling these people this over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think those people would necessarily come to that conclusion if they weren't being told it all the time.
Yeah. Well, you tell someone a lie enough times, they start to believe it. And that's
and I'm starting to see it switch, but like even I was shocked. Justin Guard, Minnesota sideline reporter for the Gophers, he put together a bunch of Husker media predictions, and there were serious Nebraska media people who predicted that Nebraska was going to win like 42-13.
I saw that one, yeah.
And I was just like, what have you been watching in the last decade that makes you think Nebraska is going to ever run Minnesota off the field ever?
Yeah.
Because either we've whipped your butt or we've beaten you close.
Well,
and that's it. That's all that's happened.
It's true. And it's not even just like Nebraska-based media. It's the national media. I mean, freaking Josh Pate like posted something, recently, but he also had Nebraska being a dark horse in the college football playoff a week ago. Like, there's people in the national media who do this every year to these Husker fans. And honestly, and I like, in a way, like, I feel bad for you Husker fans, because like, this is the thing that they put in your head, and they do this every year, and they're going to do it again next year. They are going to do it, and they're going to do it 2 years
They do it with everyone they consider a brand.
Yes. And they're going to do it 2 years from now. Mark my words that whenever we play you again, 2 years from now, you will be favored to win. And I'm not
even if Drake Lindsey's a Heisman contender by then, and I think he might be.
Yeah, like it could be something wild. Like we could be clearly heads and tails above, as far as a better team, but they're still going to pick.
Not saying we're going to be.
No.
In 2 years, Matt Rule could be doing great.
Yes, absolutely, and it could be the time that you finally beat us. But I'm just saying this is just what's going to happen. I'm predicting it now, 2 years in advance. This is what's going to happen, no matter what is going on at the time. So. Yeah, and that's honestly, again, like you hear this kind of stuff for so long, so many years in a row, like you get that hopium, and like you start to feel like, oh man, like this is it, this is the year, and it's gonna happen again in the off season. Yeah. You're gonna go through this, you're gonna hear these exact same things. So, and honestly, like we said before, I do wish Minnesota had a little bit more of that. I do. I wish our fans did.
Sure.
Because, it's probably going to start today, where you're going to start seeing Gopher fans, talk about how we're still only going to go 6-6 or something, or like, because trust me, it's going to happen. And you know who you are, Gopher fans. You know exactly who you are.
The ones with the Minnesota disease who can't enjoy nice things.
Exactly. But anyway, look, Minnesota was clearly the better team, and this is not, it was not a question all over the field. Minnesota was the better team, hands down. And that's just the reality of this situation.
You know what? The entire game, sometimes there's one play that sums up a whole game. There was a play where Matt Kingsbury, linebacker for Minnesota, came charging through the line, and it looked like Emmett Johnson had him lined up for a perfect block. And Matt Kingsbury ejected Emmett Johnson off of the ground and into outer space. I mean, he flew through the air, and then Kingsbury used all the momentum and just enveloped Dylan Raiola and took him down.
Yep.
And that play, John, to me, summed up the entire game from a physicality standpoint.
Absolutely. Minnesota
was the physical, tough Big Ten team ready to go. And Nebraska was not ready to play that kind of physical game.
No.
They weren't ready for the physicality. They weren't ready to get hit like that. Dude, I saw even Tom Fornelli tweeted out during the game and was like, Minnesota will hit you. And I was like, yeah, baby. Yeah, we will. He's like, this defense rallies and hits. And I was like, yeah. Dude, let's talk for a second, though. I know we got to move on to other games.
Yeah.
But we're pretty happy, so we're doing a victory lap here. How great was it in the stadium?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And you know what the best part of it? Nebraska fans had just enough. They had like 10 or 15%. They had a good showing. They had like 10 or 15% of the crowd.
They usually do. Yep.
But they tried to cheer like they were going to take over the stadium, like this was a neutral site game or something.
Yeah.
And then of course the Minnesota fans, that just riled everybody up. Mm-hmm. And it was a night game, and the students were lit, and the Minnesota crowd made a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. And made it uncomfortable for Dylan Raiola over there.
Yeah, they did.
So it was a scene in the stadium. It was a lot of fun for Gopher fans. I mean, there was a moment when Nebraska fans started to walk out in the fourth quarter, and the guy in front of me looked at the Nebraska fans, stood up, and he was really tall and had like really long arms. And he sticks out the longest left arm I've ever seen. I mean, he must have been like 6'5", and his arms were like down to his knees. Sticks out the longest left arm I've almost ever seen, and points to his watch like, hey, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
It felt like 2019, John.
Yeah.
Felt like 2019 up in there. I remember when we beat them 34-7, and it was 34-0 before they got on the board.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that second half felt like.
Yeah.
From a domination. So it was, I was only 24-6, but it could have easily been like 41-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Had our offense gotten off the ground a little bit faster in that first half.
Well, and also PJ, you know what the defining moment of the game was? When it was still 7-6 and Nebraska punted from midfield in the third quarter. And the ball, Nebraska special teams down the ball at the 2-yard line. And I thought, and I thought sure Nebraska fans were thinking, we're going to get a 3 and out. We're going to get the ball back in midfield. We're going to take the lead. Mm-hmm. And instead, Minnesota went on a 14-play, 98-yard, 9-minute touchdown drive.
Mm-hmm.
14 plays. And it was a lot of running and a lot of short passes until they got in the red zone. And then Drake Lindsay threw a perfect fade route to Lemeki Brockington.
Yeah.
I mean, dropped it into the bucket. Dropped it into the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And we went up 15-6 at that point. Or no, 14-6 at that point. And I was like, we're not going to lose this game.
Yeah.
Yep. And Nebraska, they deflated.
Yeah.
They deflated. After the next 3 and out, they were tired. They were done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their defense looked gassed in large parts of that game. So congrats to the Minnesota Gophers, man. It seems like every year PJ Fleck has a circle the wagons game where he needs to save the season. Mm-hmm. And he usually does.
Yeah.
Last year it was against a ranked USC team. This year it's against a ranked Nebraska team.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and if Minnesota keeps playing this way, they can absolutely, have a pretty darn good record by the end of the season, in my opinion. So
absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be, talk about two hot teams. This isn't a preview episode, but this Minnesota-Iowa game between 2 5-2 teams is going to be a heck of a game.
Could be good. Yeah, absolutely.
Could be really, really good. All right. We should probably move along, but Golden Gopher fans, enjoy this. Don't be like, oh, we might lose at Iowa. Who cares what happens tomorrow? Enjoy today.
Yeah.
And today your team is coming off a dominant home victory over a team that we like beating.
Yeah.
And
At
that
least
was awesome.
At least wait until like try to push it to Thursday until you start get all doom and gloom again. And
yeah, if you're gonna get worried about losing the pig. And honestly, man, after the way the Gophers played, I think they're gonna have. I don't know who I'm picking yet.
Yeah.
But I think Minnesota's gonna have every chance to win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. It's gonna be a good game for sure.
All right, moving along since we just spent 27 minutes talking about the Gophers. Number 1, Ohio State 34, Wisconsin 0. I don't know how much. I thought Ohio State played a very conservative game plan.
I agree.
They ran the ball a lot. Even when they did throw it, they seemed to throw a lot of safe passes. They didn't push the ball down the field that much. I don't think they wanted to embarrass Wisconsin.
Yeah, same.
And Luke Fickell. Because if Ohio State had wanted to, I think Ohio State could have scored 70 points.
Yep.
But Ryan Day realized, I think it's two things. One, Ryan Day is trying to load manage like he did last year so that his team is fresh and at their best in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But also, man, Luke Fickell's a great Buckeye.
Yeah.
He started there for 4 years. He was their defensive coordinator. He was interim head coach after Jim Tressel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ohio State wanted to embarrass Luke Fickell. They didn't want to be the reason Luke Fickell got fired.
Well, he's already embarrassed enough, man. So yeah, if you
and they still shut them out, which is pretty embarrassing in itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, 491 yards to 144.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin didn't have 100 yards rushing or passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ohio State, had 393 passing, just 98 rushing, the Ohio State run game. I will say what you want about Wisconsin, their run defense isn't bad.
It's not terrible. No.
It's not bad at all. They're pretty good, actually, at defending the run.
Yeah.
Now, the secondary, yikes.
Yeah.
But the run defense is pretty good. So I will give them that. We got to talk about Julian Sayin winning the Heisman.
Yeah, why isn't there more talk about it at all?
I think he should be the top. He's on the best team, and he's unbelievable. Okay, all right, here's his stats. 36 for 42. 393 yards, over 9 yards per attempt, 9.4, 4 TDs, 0 picks, a QBR of 94.2. You will take that every day of the week and twice on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You will take that and be happy about it. Julian Sayin is, 36 of 42. He's a machine.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just, he doesn't, and this is so funny saying this, he doesn't look as flashy as most Ohio State quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, maybe he's not as great, but he's efficient as hell. He maybe looks more perceived as a game manager type of quarterback, which
he is not a game manager.
But he's just efficient and he gets it done. And I don't know, man. I think he should be, but he's just not flashy like we're used to seeing other Ohio State quarterbacks.
See, I think it's because he doesn't look like a jock.
Could be.
Yeah. I think his face and his body, he doesn't look like a big time quarterback.
Yeah.
If he walked by you on campus, he'd think you might think he was a student manager or something. But he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
I mean, he's better than Will Howard significantly, and you won a national title with Will Howard.
Yeah, I agree.
And Julian Sayin is twice the passer Will Howard was.
Yep.
Now, he's not the same runner, but okay. You've got Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Max Clare and Brandon Innes, and those guys can all do big-time things.
Yep.
Carnell Tate, 6 for 111, 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith, 9 for 97. And on down the list.
We got to talk about how I think Carnell Tate is taking over this receiving room, dude. Jeremiah Smith is a freak, but I think Carnell Tate he's it, bro.
Yeah,
this year.
Other teams are double teaming Jeremiah Smith every play. They're bracketing him every play. So Carnell Tate's getting a lot of man coverage, and Carnell Tate you know, if he were on any other team, he would be the number one option. It's only on Ohio State where they have Jeremiah Smith. So the fact that you have to cover him one-on-one, you know, makes it hard because Carnell Tate is not, you're not going to stay with him. He's
so
too much of a freak. He's so fast. And and not just that, his body control and his route running, and like, he's really polished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, Ohio State's a receiver factory, man.
Yep. Yeah.
They just get these, they breed these guys in a lab, I swear to God. And it's just, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not much I have to say about this game other than what we've already talked about as far as Ohio State just looking amazing. And
well, let's talk about Wisconsin though first.
I mean, I was going to say a little bit, but there's nothing. Yeah. There's
Hunter Simmons, 6 of 12, 54 yards, 4.5 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, 1 pick, a QBR of 35.8.
Yeah.
Danny O'Neal came in and was 1 for 3 for -5 yards. That passing game, man, they can't throw it at all.
No.
They can't throw it at all, and it makes it hard, and their running game isn't that great either. So Wisconsin's really in the hurt bag right now, and they gotta find something. They gotta find something. I don't know what, but they got to find something or somebody who's not playing right now who could maybe play, who could be give them a, you know what I mean? It might be time to look at the bench and be like, do any of these guys deserve a shot?
I'm just like, I don't know when this is going to happen. Like, when are you going to get some kind of life? You've got, I mean, maybe Washington?
Maybe.
Like that, because you're playing Oregon next week.
Yikes.
And who just demolished Rutgers.
Yeah.
In an away game, by the way, across the country. So, yeah.
Yikes.
And now you're going to Eugene. Wisconsin's going to Eugene for that game.
Yeah.
And then you've got Washington, which, like, they're a little up and down, but they can throw the ball
if
everywhere.
you could stop the run against Washington and make them throw the ball 45 or 50 times, maybe get a couple picks, maybe you have a chance. Maybe. I mean, probably not, because Damon Williams is amazing.
Yeah.
But maybe.
But that's what I'm seeing right now. Like, I don't know where that third win comes. I mean, yes, Minnesota, Wisconsin is a rivalry game, but like the way it looks right now, I mean, and this is not even me being a Gopher fan. I just don't know who picks Wisconsin in any of their remaining games at this point.
Yeah. Ohio State had 3 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. I mean, they dominated the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
It was, no, I'm with you. I don't have too much more to say about this one. The Buckeyes roll on. Here's what I'll say. Ohio State needs to run the ball a little better.
They do. Yeah.
And they need, and Bo Jackson, after a promising start, hasn't been playing as well. Now that he was made the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Isaiah West got some carries and did pretty well. He's another freshman. So they got to figure out, who can be the most consistent for them and give him the bulk of the carries. Yeah. I thought it was going to be Bo Jackson. Maybe it's going to be Isaiah West. I don't know, but they got to figure it out.
I agree. I think focusing more on that over the next week or two is imperative. I mean,
if I'm Ohio State, I'm working on the running game these next couple of games.
Yeah.
I'm like, we are going to get it squared away. If we have to start doing some different things schematic. Last year, they changed what they did schematically in the running game when it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
They went from inside zone to a bunch of gap scheme counter stuff.
Yeah.
And to get their running backs the ball in space. So maybe they go back to some of that stuff from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to need it. Not that, again, I mean, Ohio State's clearly the number one team in the country right now. But they, if they want to make sure that they stay dominant throughout the playoff, they gotta work on that run game a little bit more. I agree.
Yeah. Hey, not to pat myself on the back, but I had Wisconsin not scoring here. And also I had the first to 10 thing wins in the Minnesota-Nebraska game. And also transition, I had the score. If it weren't for a late field goal, I had the score right on the nuts. Number 2, Indiana 38, which I said.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State 13. I said 10.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I'm feeling it.
You are.
Feeling it, John.
You did good this week. I did not.
I did.
I didn't fare as well. But
you got me last week, so I needed to come back.
Yes. So.
But we'll talk more about that. What can we say about the Hoosiers, man? You want to talk about the Heisman Trophy? Let's talk about Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a guy who went 24 for 28, 332 yards, just under 12 yards per attempt, 4 TDs, 0 picks, a QBR of 97.1.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even do a good woo because my voice is so gone. I was trying to do I do that sometimes. Like the long whistle, the whistle note. Like I can't even do it right now because my voice is toast. So that's funny. But Mendoza, man, I mean, he and Julian Sayin and Dante Moore, but I think that Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayin are even better than Dante Moore right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Dante Moore won't be the best eventually, but I'm saying right now in this moment, I think Mendoza and Julian Sayin both should be Heisman finalists.
Yeah.
And right now I'd have Julian Sayin, but you can make a really good argument for Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman.
100%. No,
I think he might be the first pick in next year's NFL draft.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, quarterback play in the Big Ten this year is
really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
It really is. You got Mendoza, Sayin, Maava, Damon Williams for the most part. I think there's some solid quarterback play going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
And then, Indiana only rushed for 132 yards. Kalon Black had 10 for 64. So he had 6.4 yards a rush. So it's not like they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
They just chose to throw the ball more.
Mm-hmm.
And Omar Cooper, 8 catches, 115 yards and a touchdown with a long of 48. Elijah Surratt, 4 for 70 and 2 touchdowns. He continues to be just a touchdown machine in the red zone. He is unguardable.
Mm-hmm.
EJ Williams had 5 for 59. Then you had a few other guys chip in, 54, whatever. Had a few other things. And Indiana had 4 sacks against Sparty, so they made it tough on Aiden Childs. See, 4 sacks is actually a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like a lot because Minnesota had 9, but 4 sacks is actually a lot, and it's a really good game by Indiana to bring Aiden Childs down 4 times with the ball. That's how you do it.
That's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. As for Sparty, your boy Aiden Childs wasn't bad.
No.
Honestly, he was good.
He was
27 for 33, 243 yards, 7.5 yards per attempt, 1 TD, 0 picks, 94.8 QBR. That was really good. You know what wasn't good? The running game.
Awful.
Aiden Childs was your leading rusher with 48 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Tolliver, 5 for 13. Alessio Milivojevic, 2 for 9. Brandon Tullis, 2 for 3. Mekhi Frazier, 7 carries, 1 yard. 1 yard.
It's so bad, dude.
It's bad. And you know what? Credit the Indiana D-line.
Oh, yeah.
Mikhail Kamara and the crew continue to just play really well up front.
It's just that there is no semblance of run blocking for Michigan State.
No, and there hasn't been in the entire Jonathan Smith era.
It doesn't exist.
No.
And it's horrible. And when your quarterback is your entire offense, man, like we saw with UCLA the first few games of the season, there's only so much a guy can do. It's a team
game. It's a team game. You need your teammates to help you out.
Exactly. Now, Aiden Childs, yes, he looked fantastic, but you can't finish drives without anybody helping you out, and especially when against a defense as good as Indiana as well. So it's tough, man. So I'm happy. I'm proud of my boy Aiden Childs, but yeah, you got no help, buddy. None whatsoever.
Yeah, it was 7-3 at the end of the first quarter, and you thought Michigan State maybe had a chance, but from there, Indiana just rolled.
Oh, did you see how pissed when they went to Cignetti's face after Michigan State went up? And I swear to God, Cignetti's whole left lip was in his
twitched,
mouth, and he was looking up at the scoreboard like he was going to kill someone, like someone was going to die.
Yeah.
And they did.
I love it.
Because it was game over from there on.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So.
Yeah, just a beating. You got to give it up to Indiana. 24 first downs in this game.
Yeah.
464 yards. A really, really good effort. Some of our Indiana fans, shout out to Vince, said we didn't talk about Indiana enough in the last episode.
Oh.
And I for one am kind of just running out of superlatives.
Well, like what else do you want me to say? Like that's the reason we don't talk about Ohio State as much either. Because
let's give credit to Rolajah Hardy, who had 2 sacks.
Sure.
That's a big day.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Pons had a half tackle for loss and a pass defended. Amari Farrell had a couple passes defended. Everybody contributed. It was a real team effort, and it's, you just can't say enough about what Curt Cignetti's done.
No.
I mean, he took the worst program in the Big Ten and turned them into the second best program in the Big Ten overnight.
One of the worst programs in all of the power conferences. Period.
I mean, over the last 15 years before Cignetti, because we studied this summer, Indiana had won 35% of its games, not of its conference games, 35% of its total games.
Yep.
That's 1 out of 3. That's pathetic. That's averaging 4-8, 3-9, somewhere in there. So to go from that to what's Cignetti now, like 20-2.
Yeah.
I mean, take a bow, Curt Cignetti. I know that he always gets mad, but I hope he's taking time to enjoy this, because as great a coach as he is, the stars have also aligned for him. He is the best coach in college football. I believe that. But you don't get to be the best college coach in college football without a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
And things have really worked out for him in a big way. And he's a fantastic coach, the best in college football, and Indiana is on their way to going undefeated, I think, and playing for the Big Ten title for the first time since they won it. They won it in a 3-way tie with Minnesota and Purdue in 1967.
Yeah. Yeah.
So It's heady times in Bloomington. Absolutely. And as for Michigan State, man, Jonathan Smith, I think he's got to go.
Yeah, I think
I don't think it's turning around.
No, I don't think so either.
Aiden Childs has been a nice piece. Nick Marsh is a nice piece. But, the defense is just beyond terrible. And the running game is non-existent. So all you can do is throw the ball, but you can't play defense, and you can't run the ball, and you can't stop the run.
Yep. It's pretty ugly, man.
I don't even think Jonathan Smith is a bad coach.
No.
I just think he took over Sparty at a really tough time when a lot of other Big Ten teams have it running at a high level. And sometimes it's hard to break in when everybody else is already running hot. Ohio State and Michigan are running hot. Illinois and Indiana are running hot. Minnesota and Iowa are running hot. USC is running hot. We'll get to USC, Lincoln Riley, man. We're going to... I watched that game last night. I didn't get to watch it on Saturday. I watched it last night, and I was getting angry at Lincoln Riley just watching. But we will get to that. Anyway, congrats again to the Hoosiers. 38-13 win over Michigan State. Moving on, we have the Oregon Ducks 56, Rutgers 10. I was going to say, what is Oregon ranked now? They were 8th.
Now they're 6th.
Now they're 6th. Up to 6th in the new AP poll, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair considering their resume, and it is an impressive resume despite the, embarrassing home loss to a very good Indiana team, to a great Indiana team. This game was lopsided, John. 29 first downs to 12, and that Rob Smith defense gave up 750 yards to Oregon. 750 yards the Ducks put up against this Rob Smith defense. I mean, that is 2 games worth of yards for most teams. That is 2 games worth. They had 335 passing and over 400 yards rushing. 11 and a half yards per rush. 11 and a half yards per rush. Dante Moore, 15 of 20, 290 yards, 14 and a half yards per attempt, 4 TDs, 1 pick, 99.1 QBR. Then the backup goes 3 for 4 for 45 yards. Does great. Brock Thomas. Which, by the way, I thought Austin Novosad was the backup.
I thought so too. Is
he hurt?
I don't know if he's hurt or if he's like holding out to transfer somewhere. I'm not sure. I thought so too. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I thought Austin Novosad was the backup, so I was surprised that it was Brock Thomas. So Ducks fans, if you know what's up with that, please let us know.
Please.
Noah Whittington, man, 11 for 125. Jordan Davison, 3 carries for 100 yards.
Yeah.
And De'Aaron Hill, 5 for 62. And then they had 4 or 3 other guys who had 33 or more yards. So they just spread it around. And then receiving, nobody had 100 yards. It was a team effort. Kenyon Sadiq, 4 for 80 and 2 touchdowns. He's the best tight end in America, I think, this year.
Yeah.
DeCorian Moore, 2 for 63 and a touchdown. And then it was a bunch of guys who had 1 or 2 catches. But like Jamari Johnson, 1 for 56. Jeremiah McClellan, 2 for 51. Gary Bryant Jr., 2 for 32. I mean, you get the idea.
Yeah.
It was all big plays. There were no small plays for Oregon in this game. Just big plays. And you know what? That vaunted Rutgers offense never got off the ground. Give that Oregon defensive line, man. They came out playing angry. Ethan Kaliakmanis finishes just 8 for 25 for 79 yards, 3.2 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, 2 picks for a QBR of 11. Woof. It looked like old Ethan. But honestly, man, do you blame Ethan? Because I mostly blame the line.
Yeah. No, I don't blame Ethan in this, dude. I really don't. I know old Ethan comes out from time to time, but nowhere near as what he used to. And it's against this Oregon defense, man, will embarrass most quarterbacks. It's just the way it is. And I think you're right. I think the offensive line is just not helping at all. The run game didn't look horrible. It wasn't fantastic, but it was trying to do what it could. But yeah, man, Ethan had no help. And they just shut down Ian Strong, man. Ian Strong couldn't do anything.
And he is really good. So shutting him down is impressive.
Yep. So it's just this Oregon defense, man. Honestly.
Yeah, they played like a team that got embarrassed last week. They were angry. They played angry.
Yep.
And I'm sure Dan Lanning was like, we have to earn it every inch, kind of stuff. And yeah, man, good for them.
Yep.
All right. I just gotta be honest. The next game made me physically angry. The number 12 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 34. The now unranked USC Trojans, 24. John, this was an even game. The yards ended up 442 to 396 for Notre Dame, but that's only like a 40 something yard difference. That's not very much. That's an evenly matched game when you're only 40, 50 yards away. So why? And they had the same amount of first downs with 23. So you might ask, well, Mike and John, why is it that Notre Dame comfortably won a game by 2 scores in which USC was statistically even? And I'll tell you why. Because in a rainstorm in South Bend, in a constant rain, when USC was driving to take the lead in the second half, they ran a wide receiver reverse pass for no reason. The offense is just humming along. Jaden Mayava looks great. Let's take it out of his hands and give it to a wide receiver and tell him to try to throw the ball downfield. Well, the receiver couldn't even get the ball out of his hands and fumbled.
Yep.
And fumbled. Notre Dame recovered, and they went in and scored. And then USC had one more chance at midfield. 4th and inches. You got to go down, get a touchdown, get a stop. You have a chance to win the game. And on 4th and inches, they lined up the quarterback under center. And instead of running a sneak for inches, because it was right there for your quarterback, they ran a trick play. They ran a damn trick play, John. Another trick play. So Lincoln Riley doubles down. And it's raining, Lincoln. Why are you taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands when it's raining and putting it into the hands of guys who are not used to handling the ball? And now they have to handle a wet ball. You want a wide receiver to throw a wet ball? Really? Really? Like, what are you doing, man? We just started defending you.
Yeah.
We just started saying, and now Notre Dame is going to back their way into the playoff.
Yep.
And it's because you got too cute. You got too cute, Lincoln. You could have just played this straight up and you probably win.
Yep.
You probably win.
Yeah.
I was John. I was like a sleepy watching because I didn't get to watch it on Saturday because there are only so many games you can watch at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get to watch all of it on Saturday, but I stayed off the internet all day yesterday when I was like working and doing stuff.
Yeah.
I stayed off of Twitter. I stayed off the internet so I could watch USC Notre Dame. And I did all that effort just for Lincoln Riley to piss it down his leg because he's so arrogant. He has to. It's not enough for him to score. He has to look like a genius when they score.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Sorry, I just ranted a lot. What do you think? What did you think about this game?
No, I'm with you, dude. I mean, look, it's definitely Lincoln Riley. It's still a Lincoln Riley problem. Has he technically gotten better this year? Yes. But you in big games like this, man, yeah, like he fumbled the ball. He made a big mistake on a couple plays, key plays where they could have won this game. They could have, because Jaden Mayava looked fantastic, dude.
He looked amazing.
He was incredible. And yes, Notre Dame was running all over you, but you have Jeremiah Love and
Jadarian Price.
Jadarian Price, thank you.
Dude, Jeremiah Love went for over 225 yards rushing.
Amazing. But CJ Carr was
good.
Not great.
But that's the thing. CJ Carr wasn't great, just 16 for 26, 136 yards. And because of that, so Notre Dame could run the ball but couldn't throw.
Yep.
And USC could throw the ball but couldn't really run.
Yeah.
So you had it even, and it was totally even, except for the fact that Lincoln Riley made it not even.
Yep.
By getting out coached, by doing actively stupid things in key situations.
Mm-hmm.
And when is Lincoln Riley going to outgrow the doing stupid things in key situations like habit? Is he ever going to get over this? Because it feels like this is just who he is.
I feel like it's just who he is, to be honest. I really do. Yeah.
I'm never picking him in a big game again.
No.
I picked them to beat Notre Dame, but after watching Lincoln Riley do that, I'm so disgusted. I am never picking them to win a big game ever again.
Well, we lost James Franklin, and I guess Lincoln Riley was just happy to take that place of losing, making stupid calls in big plays or big games. So
a wide receiver reverse pass in the rain, John.
Yep.
In the rain. It'd been raining all game. You asking a wide receiver to go out and try to throw the ball? You're out of your mind.
It was terrible, and it was the play was broken from the second the ball was snapped too. Like
Notre Dame was waiting for it.
Yeah.
They were ready for it because they knew Lincoln Riley would try to pull something. They were ready.
Yeah.
PJ was too last year, man, when we played them.
Yep.
PJ was ready for all of Lincoln Riley's little tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the elf he is, like a little mischievous sprite in the corner with his offensive sets and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, just throw the ball to your best players.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I don't know what to say. I will say that Jaden Mayava, I came out of that game thinking he's significantly better than CJ Carr.
Oh, way better. Yeah.
And CJ Carr looked really good going into that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I credit the USC pass defense, but the USC run defense just did not keep up their end of the bargain.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to stop someone like Love, man.
Jeremiah Love is great. I mean, he's the best running back in college football.
He's terrifying. Yeah.
And he's got the size and the speed and the agility, and like most guys don't have all three.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 of the 3. Size, speed, agility. You get 2 of the 3 usually if you're, but like he's got all 3.
Yep.
Yeah, special player. He kind of reminds me of Jeremiah Smith. He's not quite as dominant, but like he's the same kind of physical freak.
He kind of, to me, it's like, as far as running backs, like I'm just going to Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin. Like,
yes, that's a good example. That's a good comparison, Jonathan Taylor.
Yep, that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah, his physicality is just crazy.
Yep.
All right, next up, we had a game that I got right and you got wrong, which I love. The Michigan Wolverines 24, the Washington Huskies 7. And is Michigan? Did they got they're ranked 25th now, right?
I think so.
Let me look. Yep.
Double check.
25th.
Okay.
Gotta love that.
Yep.
Oh, and I forgot to mention the Gophers got an AP vote. Got an AP vote.
We got one.
Just one, but we got an AP vote.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we beat Iowa. We might crack the top 25.
It could happen.
I do think the winner of Minnesota Iowa should be in the top 25.
Oh, they absolutely should. Because
they'll be 6-2 and 4-1 in the Big Ten. Whoever wins that game.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This game, John, was just not close. Michigan ended up winning the first down battle 23-14. Total yards 417 to just 249 for Washington. Washington only rushed for 40 yards on 23 attempts. 1.7 yards per carry, as opposed to Michigan, who ran for 187 yards, 4.7 yards per attempt. Michigan had the ball for 38 minutes almost to Washington's 22.
Yeah. Wow.
It was a physical beating.
Yep.
Washington could not measure up in the trenches. It just was not happening. And because of that, Michigan teed off. They had 2 sacks. They had 7 tackles for loss, couple passes defended. And they held Damon Williams, Damon Williams in check. He did have 209 yards passing, but it took him 20 of 32 attempts to get there. 20 completions out of 32 attempts. Just 6.5 yards per attempt. So like when we say yards per attempt, I will say anything above 7.5 yards per attempt is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything under 7 yards per attempt is pretty bad. So, 6.5 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions. And some that led directly to Michigan points. Jonah Coleman only could average, 50 yards on 3.1 yards per rush. Denzel Boston did okay, 4 catches for 71 yards, but it just wasn't enough on a day when Michigan reminded everyone that they're the Big Ten bully. And Jordan Marshall went 133 yards, 5.3 yards per attempt and per carry and a touchdown. And Bryce Underwood, man, continues to get better.
Yeah.
21 of 27, 230 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 2 TDs, 0 picks. So not like an amazing day, but like good enough.
He's getting some more touch on the ball, man. I think he's throwing the ball better. He's not rifling it in so hard. I think he's learning on the job, and it's showing for sure. And it did this week, that's for sure, man. But you were right. Let's start out with that. I'm going to start my whole segment out with the fact that Mike Allen was correct. He was right. He nailed it on the head, and it was absolutely line of scrimmage play. Michigan definitely dominated on both sides of the ball, man. And that was what it was. Like, and it's too bad. And I shouldn't say too bad. It makes me, because I love Jonah Coleman, man. I really do.
Jonah Coleman's fun to watch.
But when he doesn't have anyone who can block for him, it's tough, dude. Like, his stats this year have not been great, but it's not because of him not being a good running back.
No, it's the offensive line.
It's the offensive line. So yeah, man, it's that I always want to see him do well, but we haven't really been able to see a lot of that going on this season because of that. But yeah, dude, Michigan just absolutely did what Michigan traditionally has done and just dominated you on the line of scrimmage and ran the ball down your throat. And then they were able to open up the pass, and that was it. Bryce Underwood had a great day. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. What do we think of Michigan's wide receivers, though? I mean, because is anyone still rising to the top, or is it because it was kind of thrown all around the field?
Yeah, it was kind of a wide receiver by committee thing. Andrew Marsh had 5 for 49. Donovan McCulley 2 for 21. Deacon Tonielli 3 for 38, and then Zach Marshall, who I assume is a tight end. He's a tight end, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
5 for 72 and a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, he really, Bryce Underwood, give him credit. He really spread the ball around.
Yeah.
He kept Washington guessing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Michigan has to do because they don't necessarily have those dominant receivers yet. And Andrew Marsh, I think, could be one eventually, but he's just a true frosh.
Yeah.
So he's figuring it out. Donovan McCulley, I think, you don't want to have to depend on him to be your number one option all the time. Samaj Morgan ends with 2 for 20, but he had a bad drop again. I give Michigan a lot of credit for bouncing back from that tough USC loss and just, asserting the fact that, hey, we're a Big Ten team in the trenches. And if you aren't good enough in the trenches, you don't have a chance.
Yep.
You don't have a chance.
Yep. They proved it, man. They really did.
Should we move on to another game I got right that you got wrong?
Let's do it.
All right. The 5-2 Northwestern Wildcats 19. The 2-5 Purdue Boilermakers 0. Woof. First downs 24-11 for Northwestern. It was only 364 yards to 305. But the difference was that Purdue only had 87 yards rushing while Northwestern had 232 on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we talked about it, but it was a combination of Hyman and Komalafe. And Hyman looked good.
Yeah.
And Komalafe is, I think, even better. I think he's better at breaking tackles than Hyman's faster, but Komalafe is, I think, harder to bring down.
Yep.
And they even got some other guys into it. Deshaun Reeder, Robbie Preckle, other guys contributing. So that was good to see. And the pass game wasn't really there, but they didn't need it to be.
Yeah.
Griffin Wilde had 4 for 47, and nobody else had more than 2 catches. Northwestern only threw for 132 yards. But again, when you can run the ball like that and control time of possession, control the clock, it makes it hard for the other team. And, Ryan Brown. So Ryan Brown must have gotten hurt during the game, huh?
Yeah.
I missed because I had this on like my second TV. So I wasn't totally locked into it.
Yeah, I'm almost. Yeah, I same thing. I wasn't totally locked in either, but I think that he got dinged up, and Malachi Singleton had to come in. But and
we hope Ryan Brown gets better soon. He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, he's a difference maker. So had he stayed in the game, it may not have been a shutout, but we'll see.
It wasn't going great though, even when he was in 5 for 10, 31 yards.
No.
So
Northwestern's defense really locked up.
Northwestern's we said before the year that Northwestern had a pretty good defensive line. I think we saw that.
Yeah, for sure.
In this game. They had 2 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. And, so I think that's impressive. And got an interception. So each team turned the ball over once. I mean, this was a defensive beating. I'm sure it made David Braun's heart happy to shut a team out since that defense is his baby.
Yep.
And you know what I think, man? I think Purdue blew their load against Minnesota.
Yep.
I think they played their best game of the year against Minnesota. They pulled out all the stops, all the tricks, and they just didn't have enough juice left from that to get out and play an emotional game against Northwestern today. Or on Saturday, I mean.
Yeah. It seems like that. I mean, I still think Purdue could jump up and get somebody, but
they showed they can. They've shown they're good enough to do that.
Yeah, as long as Ryan Brown's healthy, I think they can.
Yeah, they need Ryan Brown though. Malachi Singleton is not a great passer.
No, he's not.
Or at least he hasn't shown to be at this point.
He's a unit. He's hard to take down.
He's a great runner.
Yeah.
Great runner. When they bring him in the Wildcat, he's tough. for sure. All right, next up, we had a game, John, that probably ended about as well as we could have expected for what we want. And that is the Iowa Hawkeyes 25, the now 5-2 Iowa Hawkeyes 25, the 3-4 Penn State Nittany Lions 24. This game was all about the Iowa run game. And the Iowa run game was led by the quarterback, Mark Gronowski. 9 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 130 yards, 14.5 yards per carry. Buoyed by that 67-yard scamper he had. But, Kamari Moulton had 99 yards on almost 6 yards per carry, so he also ran the ball well. And it was that Gronowski and Moulton running the ball was the offense because that Iowa passing game is not there, man.
Nope.
10 of 16 for 68 yards, just over 4 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, 1 pick. That is not good. Those are bad stats. I mean, that's really bad in the passing game. But luckily for Iowa, Penn State's passing game was arguably worse. Ethan Grunkemeyer finishes 15 for 28 for 93 yards, just over 3 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, and 2 picks. 2 devastating, costly picks. So the fact that Katron Allen ran for 145 yards and over 5 yards per attempt and had 2 touchdowns was kind of just didn't matter. Nicholas Singleton's playing hurt. He's playing hurt because he is not the same guy.
No.
He's not the same guy.
No.
And they're giving Katron Allen all the carries. Nick Singleton is obviously playing hurt, and that sucks. It sucks because Nick Singleton is a very good player.
Yep.
This Iowa defense, man, though, I mean, they got the job done. They absolutely shut down the Penn State passing game. And yeah, Katron Allen had some success, but they still did a good job. They ended up with 1 sack, 6 tackles for loss, and a couple passes defended. So they were making plays out there. Carson Sherrar, shout out, had 2.5 tackles for loss. So really nice game for him. And, Iowa, if Mark, and here's the thing. Remember how I said Mark Gronowski was clearly banged up last week?
Yeah.
He was clearly healthy this week.
Oh, very much so.
When he got out in that 67-yard run, I was like, oh, he's hitting full speed.
Yeah.
He hit full speed for sure.
Yeah.
Kirk Ferentz joked that he's his biggest running back.
It's true.
It is. And you know what? With an offensive line as good as Iowa's is, I think they can get away without having a passing game and still end up winning 8 or 9 games this year.
Like we said they could and probably would. And
yeah,
it's just what they do in Iowa City.
It is what they do, man.
You don't have to throw the ball at all, apparently, to win 8 or 9 games.
No. But I will say this sets up for an awesome pig game where both teams probably should be ranked, but are fringe top 25 teams. Receiving votes in the AP poll and on the verge of it. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, give credit to Kirk Ferentz. I will say Iowa winning an emotional game late is exactly what I would want for them the week before we play them.
Yeah.
Have maybe a little emotional letdown. Huh? Maybe you come out a little flat in Kinnick next Saturday, huh?
Maybe.
Could
be nice. Could be nice.
Just a little bit, just a flat, maybe just for a quarter. For a quarter, you don't look great. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, as for Penn State, man, I don't know where they go from here.
Dude, I mean, they are.
I don't know if they're going to win another game.
I don't know either. They're spiraling, bro. It's bad.
And as bad as Drew Aller was at times, he was much better than Ethan Grunkemeyer.
Yes.
Significantly better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not great. Not great.
It is not happy and not a happy place to be in Happy Valley at all right now.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All right. Last game up, we had the 3-4 UCLA Bruins 20, the 4-3 Maryland Terrapins 17. Man, when it was 10-7 7 Maryland deep into the third quarter, and UCLA missed a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this is Maryland's night. They have them. Now they have a 3-point lead and the ball. But they got outscored 13-7 in the fourth quarter. UCLA scored more points, in the fourth quarter than they had the rest of the game put together, and got to 20 points, got the win on a late 23-yard field goal from Mateen Bagani after, I think it was a long run or pass that set that up. They broke one off and got it, inside, got it very close so that the final kick was good. I mean, Nico Iamaleava, it wasn't his best game. 21 for 35, 221 yards, 6.3 yards per attempt only, 1 TD and 2 picks. So not his best game. But they got some other contributions. UCLA ran the ball pretty well. Anthony Frias, 97 yards on 4 carries. Our old pal Jalen Berger, 65 yards, although it took him 19 carries to get there. And then receiving wise, Titus Mokiao Adamalala, 6 catches, 102 yards. So he led the way. Quasi Gilmer had 4 for 56. And, Nico also lost a fumble. So Nico turned the ball over 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And Maryland had this game. All credit to UCLA. They continue to find ways to win, but I thought Maryland outplayed them for large parts of this game.
Oh, I definitely think so. I think defensively, especially, man. I mean, Maryland's defense looked fantastic.
Looked so good for the whole game right up until the end. And then the fourth quarter, they just ran out of gas.
Well, also, it was and where did this guy come from? Anthony Frias.
Yeah.
Where did he come from? He was incredible. He was so fast. He's a tough runner. He made those 4 carries count, dude. And it was amazing. That 55-yard run for a TD was insane. So, I mean, I gotta give him credit there, and I think that's what it was. It was the explosive plays on offense. Obviously, UCLA had a couple explosive running plays and enough passing plays to make it count, and Maryland just couldn't match that, But it was a defensive battle for the most part, though. It was back and forth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a old school Big Ten kind of game between 2 teams that are not traditional Big Ten teams, but have adopted the conference.
Yeah. For sure.
It was a slugfest. It was, Malik Washington had a freshman game just for Maryland, just 23 of 48, 210 yards, 4.4 yards per attempt, 1 TD and a pick. Yeah. QBR 49.6. So not great. And also Malik Washington led Maryland in rushing with 67 yards. So that was the problem. If Maryland could have run the ball a little bit more, I think they win the game. Yeah. But credit to UCLA, man, for they continue to find, ever since they fired Deshaun Foster, they continue to find ways to win each week. That's 3 in a row. 3 Big Ten games in a row from a team we didn't think would win one all season.
It's amazing.
So, give all credit to the UCLA interim staff. I mean, what they've done is fantastic. And then if you're Maryland, man, DeJuan Williams had a nice day, 86 yards, 7 catches, but Shalik Knotts and Jaleel Farouk and Octavian Smith were all Shalik Knotts did okay, but those other guys were shut down. Yeah. Yeah. And, they got the ball and they weren't able to make guys miss in space, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah. A lot's got to be figured out there. Again, October Maryland shows its ugly head. And
I mean, dude, it's
wild.
Mike Loxley had coached himself off the hot seat. I wonder if he's coaching himself back onto the hot seat.
Feels that way. Sure feels that way.
And that would be, too bad because we like Mike. But, you look at their schedule coming up. They got to play Indiana this week. Then they got to go to Rutgers. That's not a picnic. Then they got to go to Champaign and play the ranked Illini. Then they got to play the ranked Michigan and then Sparty. So if Maryland's going to make a bowl game, they have to beat probably Rutgers and Sparty. Yeah. Yeah. Because I just don't think they're going to beat Indiana or Michigan or Illinois.
Same. Yeah, man.
So it's going to be big for Mike Loxley. I think he needs to get those 6 wins to guarantee that he keeps his job, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Can we go back and talk about the Minnesota-Nebraska game again?
Okay. Did Dylan Raiola just get sacked for a 10th time?
I think he just got sacked again. Oh, that was the thing. Raiola got sacked on the last play of the first half, and the whole crowd erupted and then kept cheering as the Gophers ran into the locker room.
Yep.
And the Huskers were all walking to their locker room looking dejected. And I was like, that's what we wanted.
Yep.
That's what you wanted from a momentum standpoint. So fantastic game. Awesome pod. John, anything else you want to talk about specifically? Oh, and apparently we heard that Luke Fickell, I know we mentioned this, but Luke Fickell might actually keep his job. That's wild.
Yep.
And I support that. I say extend him.
He needs more time.
He needs more time. Needs more time to get his system in place.
Yep.
Get his guys in there.
I think
give
5
him
more years.
2, 3, 4, 5 more years.
Yeah.
Let him get it figured out.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's fair.
Seems reasonable.
Seems like
I will say give him 1 season where his quarterback doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Like I just hope for Wisconsin's sake that next year they don't have quarterback injuries because it has been really rough the last few years.
I mean, it's already eerie. Like if it happens one more time, like that's
a curse. Then I don't know what deity Barry Alvarez pissed off, but that's a curse then at that point.
Well, maybe his deal with the devil, the contract is up,
just only up until he retired.
Yeah, and then
it wasn't a lifelong contract. It was just as long as you're working.
After he retired, then immediately the program just spirals and goes to shit.
Yeah,
so that's the way it goes.
That is the way it goes sometimes.
Well, hopefully when Kirk does the same thing, it'll happen in Iowa. So
fingers crossed.
All right. Well, as always, you want to find We Live for Saturday, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podcast Addict. You can find us on Twitter at We Live for B1GSat. You can find Mike here at Alibaba26. You can find me, John, at Norwegian Gopher. You can also email us, We Live for Saturday, B1G@gmail.com. Please follow, subscribe, tweet, retweet, all that good stuff, especially here on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks so much for rocking with us. This was a euphoric, celebratory review episode. We will have a preview episode for next week or for this week's games, probably out tomorrow if we can work that out. And we might even go live for it. So pay attention to that, everybody. That could be a thing we do tomorrow. We'll put it out on Twitter if we're going to. And yeah, everyone have an awesome week. I know I'm going to feel good all week after how I felt coming out of this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's Pig Week, baby. Bring Floyd home.
That's right.